What is going on, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global here, back with another video. The New England Patriots continue to make roster moves here each and every single day. This time, they have signed defensive tackle Lawerence Guy. They actually re-signed him to a 4-year deal. Currently, the terms of this contract are not yet known. I wouldn't expect this to be anything too crazy. I don't think that he's going to get $6+ million a year. But we'll just have to see how everything pans out. Now, this was a move kind of like James White that kind of came out and surprised me. Now, I definitely didn't close the door on Lawerence Guy returning. I've been saying for a while that one of the biggest holes the Patriots still have is at defensive tackle. They did add Devon Godchaux, but I don't think he is the end-all, be-all, especially when you lost Lawerence Guy, or were potentially losing Lawerence Guy and Adam Butler. Not to mention that your defensive line already needed a vamp when both of those guys were on your team. And I was actually getting ready to make a video kind of comparing Lawerence Guy and Danny Shelton. Which guy should the Patriots bring back? Because we are hearing rumors that the Patriots were interested in bringing back Danny Shelton. I mean, I'm not sure now. But then, of course, ultimately, they decided to bring Lawerence Guy back. Now, the big thing that shocked me was the fact that it's 4 years, okay? Let's remember that last time the Patriots signed him, this was the same year that they went and lost Super Bowl 52, signed Stephon Gilmore to a big contract. They signed Lawerence Guy to a 4-year deal. They're signing him to yet another 4-year deal, which, if he stays throughout this contract, would have kept him in New England for a total of 8 years. My only concern with this, though, is that Lawerence Guy is getting very old. And with defensive tackles, you don't see them in the league, in their late 30s. If Lawerence Guy does play out his entire contract, then he would be 35 by the time his contract is over. And I think at that point, yeah, for sure, he's going to retire most likely. But is he going to play out that full contract? That's my big question. So I definitely think it was an interesting move by Belichick to give him a 4-year deal knowing his age. Again, I think contracts will be very telling on this, how much he's making. Do the Patriots have an opt-out option at some point down the road in the contract? And does it get to a point where maybe in a couple of years, if the Patriots do want to release him, they won't have any issues with dead money? Now, this move was also a little bit surprising just because we haven't really heard anything about Lawerence Guy and the Patriots, that they were looking for a potential new deal, that the Patriots were interested in bringing him back. I always speculated that they would, just because Lawerence Guy really was a classic Patriot that Belichick really did like, but rumors never actually came out. Of course, we also heard just the other day that the Miami Dolphins were hosting Lawerence Guy, and it looked like they even offered him a contract. So from what I'm understanding, Lawerence Guy actually picked to come back to the Patriots over the Dolphins. Which I just have to say, as a Patriots fan who has had to see so many guys leave the Patriots to the Lions, the Giants, most specifically the Dolphins, it's nice to actually see players saying, no, I'm going to go to New England. I'm not going to actually go sign with the Dolphins. But Lawerence Guy, again, has just been a staple for the New England Patriots ever since they signed him. The other great thing about him is that he's super durable. You can rely on him game in and game out, and you know what you're going to get from him. It's also a guy that I feel each and every single year under the Patriots system does just continue to get better. He is also someone that I respect tremendously because he is someone who has dealt with some kind of mental illness, or not mental illness issues, but kind of more like learning disabilities with like ADD, ADHD. So he's someone that I respect tremendously. Sorry for that, guys. But since joining New England, he's totaled 235 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, and 13.5 sacks over his first 4 seasons. He's also a first-time captain for the Patriots just this past season, so the Patriots are actually bringing back a defensive captain also. Lawerence Guy was actually the only bright spot that the Patriots' defensive front had this past season in the run game. He led the Patriots in the Patriots' front 7 in run stuffs, despite the Patriots' defensive line being ranked 26 against the run. Stopping the run is definitely something that Belichick has made a priority for this offseason, as he really revamped this defensive line. Lawerence Guy actually ranks as the 9th front 7 player to receive a contract by the Patriots since the new league year started. Of course, he'll be rejoining, players like Henry Anderson and Davon Godchaux, Montravius Adams, Carl Davis, Dietrich Wise, and then you have your linebackers and Kyle Van Noy, Matt Judon, Raekwon McMillan. So guys that will be competing for time in the interior of our defensive line will be Lawerence Guy, Henry Anderson, Davon Godchaux, Carl Davis, Dietrich Wise, Byron Coward, Akeem Spence, Nick Thurman, Bill Murray, and Michael Barnett. Overall, I would still like to see the addition of a Danny Shelton. I think that it could be just still super beneficial for the Pats. I just don't know if they do it at this point. But again, I think that it's something that could be definitely beneficial for the Pats, not just as a rotational piece, as a depth piece, but he does play a different role than Lawerence Guy and Davon Godchaux, which we'll talk about here with PFF grades in just a second. Obviously, Lawerence Guy is going to make this roster. Henry Anderson is more than likely going to make the roster. I kind of see him more as a defensive end rather than a defensive tackle, though. Godchaux will make the roster. Carl Davis, he's not a lock to make it, but he does have some good things going for him. I don't see Montravius Adams making this roster. Dietrich Wise is a guy who will definitely make the roster. Where do the Patriots want to play him, though? DE or DT? We'll just have to see. Byron Coward, I do see making the roster. And then Akeem Spence, Nick Thurman, Bill Murray, and Michael Barnett are all guys that more than likely will not make the roster. So I do think adding just one more veteran big body who's been in the Patriots system in a Danny Shelton, again, would just be the final staple to the Patriots D-line. Now, like I said, I do want to get into some PFF grades. This is something that I've really liked to do when talking about players re-signing or players just signing for the first time in New England. So in 2020, Lawerence Guy had an overall grade, a PFF grade of 68.2, a run defensive grade of 67.1, and a pass rush grade of 58.8. He had a total snap count of 503 with 272 run defensive snaps and 230 pass rush snaps. In 2019, he definitely had a better season with an overall grade of 71.7, a run defensive grade of 72.0, and a pass rush grade of 60.4. And then if you want to take it back just one more season, 2018 with the Patriots, his second year with the team, the year we went on to win Super Bowl 53, he had a tremendous year. He had an overall grade of 89.5, a run defensive grade of 90.5, so he was elite in that category, with a pass rush grade of 64.6. That year, he had a total snap count of 519, with a total run defensive snap count of 551, and a total pass rush snap grade of 267. So he actually played more pass rush snaps that year than run defensive snaps. Overall, with Lawerence Guy, you can see from his grades that he's someone who is good at stopping the run. That's what he does. He isn't terrible at getting pressure, but he's not someone that's going to wow you with his ability to rush the passer. He's not going to be consistent at doing so. He's a big body who knows how to plug the middle and stop the run. And I say that adding a guy like Danny Shelton would be different than a Davon Godchaux and a Lawerence Guy because, believe it or not, Danny Shelton, despite how big he is actually been graded as a better pass rusher than a run defender. So to talk about Danny Shelton here for just a second to compare him, this past year with the Lions did not have a good year. He had a total PFF grade of 51.1, a run defensive grade of 44.9, and a pass rush grade of 64.0. In 2019 with the Patriots, he had an overall grade of 72.3 with a run defensive grade of 68.2 and a pass rush grade of 73.5. So while Lawerence Guy coming in definitely helps staple the Patriots defensive line, brings in that leader for sure, and can help out slightly in getting some pressure on the quarterback. If New England really wants to have that interior guy to get to the quarterback, I think, Danny Shelton is going to be one of your best options at this point, especially after losing Lawerence Guy. Before we end this video off, though, I do want to talk about the sponsors of this video, betonline.ag. Now, BetOnline has the fastest and easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football might be over, but NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are a full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV, along with real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline also has you covered for all of the news, scores, and odds, and it is the best way to place your bets, and it's completely free to sign up. All you guys got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action. Don't forget to use that promo code CLNS50 to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. But New England is surprisingly, well, not too surprisingly, but bringing back defensive tackle Lawerence Guy to a shocking 4-year contract. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, I appreciate each and every single one of you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. In Astro World.